Hi, my name is Rebecca Nieders, and we're going to be making 3 different types of chocolate chip cookies based on the recipe in Corrier's book. So I've already made all the dry ingredient mixes, so this one is going to be for the thin, and it has all-purpose flour and baking soda in it, and we used just a generic type of flour. I actually don't know what brand this is, and we used Arm & Hammer baking soda, and then on top of that we had Morton salt, and then for these two we used Soft as Silk cake flour and Argo baking powder, and then again Morton salt. Okay, for the thin cookie batch, we are going to cream all of the fat and the sugar together. So I added half a cup of the sugar, which I actually don't know what brand it is, and then I added a 1/3 cup of Great Value light brown sugar, and then I added 10 tablespoons of Great Value sweet cream butter, and now I am going to mix them all together until it is light and fluffy. Okay, so we just added 3 tablespoons of Kara light corn syrup, and then we added 2 tablespoons of 1% low-fat milk from Prairie Farms, and then we added it to the creamed fat and sugar, which looks very light and fluffy, and then we're gonna mix. I just added 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract from McCormick, and we are going to beat it in. Okay. And then we are going to slowly mix in the ingredients for the thin chocolate chip cookie recipe, which has bleached all-purpose flour and baking soda in it. Okay, so it looks a lot more like cookie dough, so we're going to add a cup of Nestle semi-sweet chocolate morsels. And then we are going to beat on low for 5 seconds. Okay, moving on to the puffed chocolate chip cookies recipe, I added 9 tablespoons of Crisco butter-flavored vegetable shortening, and then to that I added a cup minus a tablespoon of the light brown sugar, and I'm just going to beat them together. Okay, so the final sugar mix is now light and fluffy. It was a little bit harder to mix than the other one, and it turned out with a little bit of a darker color. So now we're going to add an egg, and we're using grade A Farm Fresh large eggs. And then we're going to beat this in. We just added 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and now we're going to beat it in. Now we are going to add the dry ingredients. These dry ingredients include cake flour and baking powder on top of the salt. Okay. We just added a cup of the chocolate chips, and now we're going to beat it in on low. For the in-between recipe, we've added 5 tablespoons of butter and 5 tablespoons of the butter-flavored shortening, and then to that we added 3/4 cup of brown sugar, and then we are going to mix them together. Okay, so now we've added 1 large egg and 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, and we're going to mix these together. Okay, now we've added 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and we're going to beat that in thoroughly. Okay, now we're going to add the dry ingredients for the in-between recipe, and this one has baking powder, cake flour, and salt in it. Okay, now we've added a cup of chocolate chips, and we're going to beat that in. have these 3 cookie sheets and we sprayed them with cooking spray. So these are the ones with just butter, and just from the look of it, you can tell they're a lot lighter in color and a lot fluffier. These are the ones with just shortening, and these are a lot more solid and darker in color. And then these are the ones with half and half, and they were more liquidy, but a similar color to the ones with just shortening. So the oven has been heated to 375, and we're going to stick them in. Oh, you don't need to. So the oven is at 375, and you have all 3 cookie sheets in there. We're going to watch and wait for the edges to brown. Okay, so we just pulled the cookies out of the oven, and me and my dad taste tested them. So these are the ones with just the butter and with the all-purpose bleached flour, and they're obviously way more spread out than the other ones, and they're a lot wider, but at the same time they're a lot more dense, and when we try them, they're extremely flavorful. You can taste all the butter and all of the sugar, but it's almost too much to your point. You can only eat a few bites before I got sick of it. And then these are the ones that are the puffed recipe, and you use all shortening, and as you can tell, they are definitely more puffed. They're more round, they didn't spread as much. Flavor's kind of in between, actually, the other 2 recipes. So they're kind of flavorful, but they have the best look, is what we decided. And then these are the ones that have half butter, half shortening. We kind of burnt them a little bit, so I don't know if the flavor's the correct taste, but we kind of felt like they were the least flavorful of them all, and they're obviously a lot less colored than the other ones. And then also the cooking time was weird, because these cook the quickest. They're also on the top shelf, so that might have made a difference. And then these burnt on the bottom really easily, and these took double the time as the other ones to cook. So just kind of troubleshooting next time. I would definitely put them into the oven separately just to see how they would cook on their own. And then for making the perfect cookie, I think this kind of look and using the cake flour would work really well, and using this kind of flavor with the butter. So yeah, those are my final results.